What's up, tea people? It has been far too long, and that is my fault. I do apologize. However, today we are going to go have some ripe. Now, have a different camera setup here with the different lighting. I'm hoping that the lighting is going to look a little bit sharper. Wow, okay, my bad on my fingers there, but hopefully lighting is decent here. I feel like it's maybe a little bit not quite bright enough. But we have a this recipe for some old ripe I have yet to try from Dayi. I guess this was Manghai Tea Factory at this point. And yeah, let's get into it. Hope everyone's doing awesome today. Just gonna break this up a little bit. And yeah, I have taken some time away from recording. Been drinking tea every day. Can't stop that. But just some, you know how it is, family stuff, medical stuff. Shout out to anyone who's got to deal with that. It's tough. You want to do the best you possibly can to support your family. And yeah, so just trying to prioritize what's most important. Not that you folks aren't important to me. So you can see the light bar kind of going right here, but I'm hoping that the reflections aren't too horrific. Let me know in the comments how rough this ends up looking. See if we can get in here a little bit tighter. And yeah, let's give this a sniff. Smells fairly earthy for a Dayi. I'm also switching back some the microphone a little bit. It's like right here, but if I move even like back here, not quite as good, I don't think. So hopefully this isn't too rough. But yeah, having my morning ripe. Hope everyone's doing awesome. Wow, my head is like super T-cam. Let's see if I can move that a little bit out of the way. Maybe is that gonna work? Not while I'm recording. Okay, whatever. Hope everyone's doing awesome. Quick rinse here. Give this a sniff. Classic earthy, sweet, barky. I'm getting more maple wood on this than anything. I'm gonna do a double rinse just to really get into the heart of this one. These are teas that I wouldn't be buying a lot of anyway. Price point's a little bit aggressive, and I personally don't really feel like I'm noticing a lot of the value that you're gonna get from a more expensive ripe. Now, that being said, on a relative basis, expensive ripe is still so much more affordable than getting some like cardamom, black cardamom. Honestly, that smell to me is what I think of when I think of kind of like a hot dog smell. not the best sounding description, but a little bit more vanilla on the nose. Now I'm gonna pause and get my cup. 1 sec. All right. Smells clean. Here we go. Nice color. Pretty light to start. I typically am gonna brew the absolute heck out of something like this in the mornings, and usually in my big clay pot. So this is not typically how I drink ripe. But so again, hopefully the reflection's not too brutal on that. It's not too well, that's not the most fun. Okay, settle down a little bit. Ooh, yeah. We'll have to work on that. I have 2 lights directly underneath here now, but what that does is it means that it's a really smooth curve of light. There's basically it's just you know, the light quality and the photos of the actual tea itself should be significantly improved. So hopefully that's a little bit more noticeable. I think we can even get a little bit closer here. So pretty dark though, not too much to report in terms of the actual leaves themselves. They're not pitch black though. So for a 99 tea, you can expect all sorts of different stuff. Storage, just from the visually, from what I would say, is definitely not super wet storage. And I know this is Taiwanese storage. Here we go. Cheers. This reminds me most of the 2012 Shalfa. It's ever maybe a little bit sweeter. Definitely not bad. I'm not like, whoa, oh my god, immediately. So we'll go ahead and push this next one. I'm gonna make this a pretty short episode today. Just trying to get back into the rhythm of filming because I want to make sure I'm doing these. It's fun, and yeah, you know, this is a. Sometimes you want a distraction, right? And there's nothing. There's good distractions, healthy distractions, and unhealthy distractions, and this is a healthy distraction. So, kind of an intense day for me today, and just yeah, taking it out on the tea. So, thinking of family, thinking of my loved ones today. Hope everyone has that. If you don't, I'm sorry, but you get to create that in life. That's a beautiful thing too. Looking at the material again, pretty light. So we can just get another chunk. Pretty ground up, honestly, in here. So let's see if we can get another. Yeah, pretty hard to see here, but quite light. Again, the light here is maybe not perfect, but definitely not pitch black. Huh, looking a little yellow, honestly, there. Basically no smell. Gonna, you know, pushing this one pretty hard here, as I would normally with ripe. The maple, not quite as prevalent. I'm noticing the vanilla. Not a lot of fruit. I think the fruitiness of these ripes do kind of age out for the most part, although it does depend on the base material. Actually, fairly dark. Get in here. Not crazy. You can definitely see some of the stems lighter. Give this a sniff. Nice. More minerals on the nose than I'm noticing in the cup. Hopefully I'm going to get some of this steeping. Wow, that is a cacophony of light. Pretty classic. Nice. Cheers. Looking quite a bit darker. Yeah, more in the minerally side of things, deeper. I would say that it's kind of makes me think that this is an older tea. Of the teas that I have that are older, they tend to have nice, a little bit of a tartness coming in. A little bit more of a basey, not basey, but minerally lower end note. Some of the high fruit is a little bit faded out. This reminds me, honestly, quite a bit of the Jaji, but just a little bit less nice. So this one's fine, but I would probably not even. This was my first session on this tea, and frankly, it's fine. But I wouldn't go out of your way to go buy this, even a sample. I think I would just recommend buying 5 tuos of the Jaji. It's really nice. I have like 15, so I drink that one quite regularly. Cheers. It's good, but not crazy. Not worth the price tag, in my opinion. Of course, I'll enjoy drinking this morning while I do some writing. Yeah. Hope everyone's awesome. I don't have like a lot to say on this one. Ripes are kind of weird to review, especially Dayi ripes. They cohere or like congeal into kind of a similar family of flavors. So it's easier to find, I think, a bit more variety in Shotgun Ripes that I've had. Or really what you should be doing is just trying a bunch of different brands. I think you're going to notice differences that way a bit better. So it's nice to have. But again, I think from the cost perspective, I would go for something a little bit more affordable. Noticing that black cardamom thing? I don't love that. A little bit of a pine resin thing that I'm not noticing in the cup nearly as much. Yeah, promises of something a little bit higher quality than I'm really tasting. Might just not be brewing this one quite perfectly. Is what it is. I'll have this one be my last one here, and then I will wish you all adieu. Hopefully the audio quality isn't insane. Sorry if it's rough. Trying to figure out the right setup that's convenient. You can't see it right now, but the mic is like right here, basically. I'm touching it now. Anyway, cheers. It's fine. I would give it a 6 out of 10. Nothing really particularly remarkable. And again, for the price, meh. The one thing that's nice on this is that it's really aged out a lot of that potential funk and sourness that sometimes can happen in these teas. I mentioned a little bit of tartness. That's gone. That was pretty minor. Yeah, not the best. I have a 94 Jiaji that is significantly better than this. And I'll drink that one on camera here sometime soon. Cheers. Uninspired. It is what it is. That's tea for you. Sometimes it's in the eye of the beholder, so don't let me stop you from enjoying this tea. As that Tolarian Academy guy says, don't let me yuck your yum. So the professor, you're a magic card nerd, which I'm not really, but YouTube. Anyway. Yum. But not like, hope you guys are doing awesome. I love you guys. Give your family hugs. If you love them. Very grateful to love my family. And yeah, celebrate life. Don't save the best tea for someday. Save it for today, and then drink that shit. Till next time. Peace.